soon, the injury in my head will be suffice, and you'll see me dead 3 days on the streets, and then I will rise again. I want the judgment to come on. I want to die, so I can see everyone and get exactly what they deserve. You don't even have underwear on. This is ridiculous. I get put in jail and he hits me. They wouldn't give me any water, and I was screaming, I need help, my heart is hurting, and I really was thinking about drinking the toilet water because they wouldn't give me it. I think triggering is funny too. Now go whine and scream like big stupid pussy. They're black!
ShannyForChrist is a mother of two who has had an interesting career on the internet, to say the least. From going on the Drunken Peasants podcast and claiming the moon isn't real, for some reason, to feuding with people that criticize YouTubers like Foodie Beauty and other mukbang channels like that, to getting arrested for abusing her husband and a whole lot of other batshit crazy, including lying about a cancer diagnosis. Yeah, this lady is a real piece of work. I had heard about this woman years ago from a very long but very detailed Cecil McFly video that will be linked in the description, and because Cecil, I don't freaking know how, just kind of predicted this person was gonna blow up in the sense of being someone that was mocked on the internet, archived a lot of their videos, so some of these clips I'm gonna be using are from her video, and like I said, I'll link it in the description, so you can check it out if you haven't, because it's really good. But let's dive into the insanity that is ShannyForChrist. Oh boy. Brace yourselves for this shit. Shanny, or Shannon as I'm gonna call her for the rest of the video, did not have the best upbringing according to her. She alleges that she was raised with abusive parents, specifically her mother, and this is something that she brings up a lot to try and garner sympathy for people. She also likes to use this and then try to act like an activist or spokesperson for children who either are being abused or she thinks are being abused, which might sound okay, like on paper, someone who allegedly grew up in an abusive household trying to help or speak out for people who have been abused. That sounds like an okay story and wouldn't be something I'd cover here. But the thing is, Shannon is a known liar, and you'll see what I mean later. Before she did anything noteworthy on the internet, she divorced her first husband, a guy named Alan, all the way back in 2010, but because she wasn't really on the internet or no one was paying attention to her, we don't know much about him. But her first claim to fame, or infamy I guess, was when she appeared on the Drunken Peasants podcast with the Amazing Atheist back in 2014. She made some absolutely wild claims about the moon and space.
Use your word.
Anyway.
Come on.
Hi, Shannon. The floor is yours.
I don't believe space is the way they claim it to be.
That guy.
I don't care what science says. Frankly, I don't give a damn because I believe it's all controlled by the big old Satan right now.
Big old Satan.
She doesn't believe in science because I believe it's controlled by the big old Satan right now.
I just want to know, do you believe the moon exists, or is that not real?
I believe the moon is a light source.
This, for obvious reasons, made her a bit of a running gag on the podcast for a few episodes, and she appeared a few more times after this. And on one of these, she had a pretty interesting take on what she would do if her kids ever became atheists.
Parent, if they turn to be an atheist, is to feed and clothe them. That's all.
She said her only obligation as a parent for her children, if they became atheists, would be to feed and clothe them.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up. A few days after this appearance, she showed up on the show again and claimed she was going to go after the Amazing Atheist for cyber harassment.
See what Google could do about this cyberbullying that's going on with me.
Yeah, whatever.
Specific individuals include the Amazing Atheist, Galaxy Dreams, Evril, all saying I'm an endangerment to my children, which I am not.
Breckian's family sucks. Woo!
And cause them to take their videos down. I think I might have to take legal action against Galaxy Dreams and The Amazing Atheist and JD Kane and Evril. If they continue to do this harassment of me, I will call
the cyber
and
police.
I will
The president. We're gonna call Fox News Security.
Around this time, she acted like she was an E-Celeb and would tell people she was best friends with TJ, the Amazing Atheist, but according to TJ, when asked, he really didn't remember her. But up until 2019, Shannon was part of a community that's called the Great Debate Community. I didn't even know that was a thing. But it sounds like it's a bunch of like Christian YouTubers that debate about religious topics, whether or not God exists or stuff, I don't know. One of the people in this community that's relevant to this story is a guy named G-Man. He and Shannon became friends, but after G-Man started getting attention from atheists, they would, you know, back in the day, how you had the atheist response video shit, they would respond to him and I guess mock him. Shannon, rather than sticking by a friend, decided to turn on him and started mocking him behind the scenes. And they just kind of had this weird flip-floppy relationship. And I'm gonna be brutally honest with you, both of them seem to have a few screws loose. Shannon definitely, and I think G-Man is a little nuts too. But she changed tactics by 2016 and decided to try and be hyperbolic and outrageous in order to get attention, which, I mean, that works for a lot of people. I mean, hyperbole, nothing will get you click on a video more than someone saying something absolutely outlandish in the title or whatever. Like, even if you have no interest in the subject, you just be like, what the fuck is this title? And you might click on it, so that checks out. But one of these videos she made, she claimed that God caused the Fukushima earthquake that hit Japan.
It is God placing out his judgment when it comes to these animals dying. Loads of animals are dying. You know, a lot of people are blaming it on Fukushima. I'm saying it was God who caused it by that earthquake that caused Fukushima.
Real piece of work. But on February 22nd of 2016, she claimed she was leaving YouTube. As we've seen with most people who are lolcows, they'll say they're leaving YouTube or leaving the internet, and then they come back less than a month later, usually within the same week. And in this case, she was back within a week and made a video saying Christians shouldn't debate atheists because Jesus? I don't really know the thought process here.
Watch out, because I'm actually getting on some Christians' cases right now. Because they need to hear this. Because I keep telling this to them, and they just keep ignoring me. And that's his... Stop debating. Stop debating. If you love Jesus, you would stop debating.
I'm not even going to pretend to try and make sense of that. I'll just leave that up to y'all in the comment section. Because now we're about to get into the real crazy. In 2017, Shannon got married to a guy named Chris. This didn't last as they divorced on July 17th of that same year. Shannon did probably one of the absolute worst things you could do. She started streaming herself crying and blubbering into her camera about the divorce.
Jesus,
I've just been through much. I've been through one traumatic event after another traumatic event after another traumatic event over a course of 2 weeks, and it's like, how much more can you strip from me? How much more can you take away from me? And he's taking it all away. And he's stripping it all away from me. And it's getting me so angry at him because I found that one person. That one person that could make me feel a little bit whole as a person. I thought I found my soulmate. And no. And he's stripped away. He's gone. Like Chris. He was my best friend. He was my life. I gave him everything. And he strips it away. And I start getting feelings for someone else. And he strips that away. And he's just stripping everything I have away from me. And I don't know if I can clean on any longer. I don't know if I can clean on. I just don't have anything, and I'm so empty inside of it, so lost inside, and I don't want to bother my parents with this, because I know it just kills them inside. I'm so alone all the time. I just wanted just to feel something. And then they use this excuse like you're manipulating him. Or they use excuses like one thing led to another. Or they use excuses like I'm drunk. They use all these excuses, but at the same time they're ignoring someone who actually fucking cares. I need my Adam. I need my David. I need it. Would you tell another C what is Christian about not getting your prayers answered? Oh. Christians are the worst in the world, I'll tell you. They are the worst. They make promises to you and then they break them. They are the worst liars in the world because they put God, they use God to cover up their fucking lies. And it's not even fucking right because it's like at the same time, I'm a believer in Christ. I am. But at the same time, I realize the hypocrisy of Christianity. I realize that. I realize that those Christians are pieces of fucking shit.
She did this several times and shared way too damn much about her exes to the point where people started to find contradictions in her stories that made her look terrible. She's one of those people where she thinks she's done nothing wrong in the relationship and that the other person is 100% in the wrong. You probably know someone in your friend group that's like this, that always complains about how every guy or girl they dated is just an absolute nightmare, and you just kind of wonder if it's how true that is and if there's not more to it than what they're telling you. And don't get me wrong, there are cases where you're in a relationship with someone and they are just the absolute freaking worst, and it's not really because you did anything aside from just decide to date the person. There are cases where that happens. But in most relationships, it's usually a combination of both parties being in the wrong or doing something that upsets the other person, either intentionally or unintentionally. But Shannon is one of those people where, like I said, it's black and white, and Shannon is always in the white. On July 27th of 2017, G-Man, feeling bad for Shannon, I guess, hosted a fundraising stream where Shannon and her mom lobbed a bunch of accusations against her ex. The stream was deleted, but Cecil McFly downloaded it, and the clips that I have are from her video. Again, shout out to her. In the stream, Shannon was flirting with the guys that were also in the stream and claimed that her ex-husband was cheating on her with her best friend. She also revealed that she was now living with her mother, who she would later claim is extremely abusive towards her. She also said she tried to commit suicide after finding out about the cheating.
Well, I mean, like, when I found out he cheated on me, I tried to kill myself. I legitly tried to slit my wrists. But for some reason, I could not, like... For some reason, I could not break the skin, and I legitly tried.
The ex-husband explains his side of the story, and the details of the suicide attempt are even more messed up. But we're gonna have to put a pin in that for now, because Shannon claims some other stuff. She also claims her ex took practically everything from the house and took the kids. And she claims he also bleached her clothes, and that the ex-husband was doing meth, and that he was beating her and basically just being the absolute devil. The whole stream is basically Shannon and her mother acting like the victim and trying to get people to give them money. But sometime after the stream, Shannon tried to get with G-Man, but that didn't end up happening, and Chris, the ex-husband, uploaded a response in April and gave his side of the story. Chris does confirm that some of the things Shannon said were true, mostly the cheating thing, but he also confirmed that he helped Shannon regain custody of her kids, who are not biologically his.
A lot of things led up to the moment, unless you know the true story. Now, I can only tell you my side. You've heard half, which I'll say about a quarter of that half is the actual true events. And the one about me cheating is, unfortunately, it's one of the truths. Now, don't miss the boys, don't love the boys. That is, nothing could be farther from the truth. The last 8 months of our relationship were pretty rocky, and I will go into that a little bit later on in the video. Like, I have this all planned out. This is part 1. Clearing some of the records on some of the things she said. But the fact I don't miss the boys is that's an outright lie. You know, yes, I realize that it's my fault that I can't see them. It was my decision. It was my choice that I can't be part of their lives no more. And I'll have to live with that for the rest of my life. And I recognize that. And that sucks. You don't even know. Like, for the last 6 years of my life, those boys, I gave up everything for those boys to make sure they can come home to Shanny and me. After when Shannon lost custody. Honestly, if I wasn't involved in the picture at all, I really don't think she'd get her kids back. And I'm not trying to be that to be like spiteful or mean. I just think matter-of-factly, she would not have gotten the kids back.
He also lets it slip that Shannon got arrested at one point. This is not going to be the last time this lady ends up getting in trouble with the law. But also he claims that Shannon was the one beating him.
I don't think so. It doesn't add up. And in fact, when she called me from jail, what was she worried about? Was she worried about the boys? How I was? No, first thing she said to me was, "Hi, Chris. Jake's trying to steal the house from us." What the fuck? That's what you want to waste your one phone call on? To tell me that my brother's trying to steal the house and that's why you're in jail? Really? Are you kidding me? That was right there. Come on, guys. No one can be that gullible. The point is, she did these things. And at this point, what am I supposed to do? I mean, am I next? What happens when she gets mad at me? She's already freaking hit me in the past. What made me think that it wouldn't escalate to that again? And she says, well, that's paranoia. Well, that's paranoia for you to think that everyone's going to betray you now, isn't it? But you justify that. You justify that because everyone betrays you. But what about your acts of betrayal? You don't want to talk about them. You want to say you were a good person, that you're the moral standpoint for you we should all follow.
Shannon has a police record of beating somebody else, but we'll get to that later. He does elaborate on the suicide attempt. You see, Shannon tried to off herself in front of her kids.
She was in jail. I cheated. She lost her mind, tried to kill herself. In front of her boys, I may add. I mean, I shouldn't say shit like that, but matter of fact, it was, you know.
He made another video giving more details about the suicide attempt. According to him, the reason why she couldn't, slit her wrist is because Chris went around and removed every object she could feasibly use to harm herself, and he again reaffirms that the boys were present for all of this. Yeah, this is getting pretty fucking dark, isn't it? Her exes aren't the only people Shannon likes to make crazy accusations about. In June of 2019, she claimed her mother was an abusive narcissist, which, honestly, I think that could be applied to her. Maybe she is telling the truth. Maybe apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I mean, it's a tragic thing, unfortunately. Some people who are born in abusive households end up reciprocating that behavior when they're adults, or even before they're adults. It's unfortunate. So maybe that's what's happening here. But she goes on about how awful her mother is, and look, I have no idea of the validity of these things because, again, Shannon is known to lie, so she could be lying here or exaggerating, or she could 100% be telling the truth. I'll let y'all be the judge of that one. But Shannon's lies do start to unravel a bit because Shannon's mother, yeah, her mom uploaded a video saying that she was lying about the ex-husband Chris and that he is not as bad as they made him out to be, and that the only reason she was saying those things was to support her daughter.
But first of all, I just want to say to Chris that, yeah, you screwed up some things, but you were a good father, and I just want you to know that. Before you came along, Zachary didn't smile much. I mean, he didn't respond to people, and those boys really loved you. Zachary especially, but it was like the light turned on when you came into his life, and I just want you to know that. Nobody should ever question what a good father you were. You were a good provider, too. You did the best you could. I mean, I know you don't make that much money, but you did the best you could. And she sat there, year after year, getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and wouldn't work.
The mother also said that no one abused Shannon, and that Shannon makes these kind of accusations about literally everyone in her life, and uses that as a way to excuse some of her bad behavior.
But nobody's abused Shannon, okay? That is her MO. She uses that with everybody. She did it with Douglas. She's done it with you. She's done it with her sister, her brothers. Everybody in her life has always treated her this way, and this is why she's so crazy. I mean, it covers for her mental illness. And she knows she's mentally ill, and she knows what she's supposed to do to help that mental illness. But she chooses not to.
According to the mother, something unfortunate did happen to Shannon when she was 16 that scarred her emotionally. The mother doesn't 100% spell it out, but it sounds to me like it's a case of sexual assault or something in that realm of horrible. Obviously, no one deserves that, and I'd be concerned if something like that didn't scar you mentally if you went through that, even years later. And if that's really what Shannon went through, that's horrible. I don't know what else to say about it. That being said, that doesn't excuse you beating the shit out of your partner and traumatizing / mentally abusing your kids. The mother also says that Shannon wouldn't take care of her kids and would lie in bed all day and then drink and smoke weed. But the most outlandish thing the mother says Shannon did, I shouldn't be laughing because it's not funny, but it really isn't funny, but Shannon apparently brought a homeless man into the house with her kids, who may or may not have been a meth addict. You just can't make this shit up.
Out putting up with her stuff, with the crying every night and drinking every night and smoking weed with her kids in the house, terrified that, and then she'd invite people over. This one homeless guy, and she'd invite him over, and all he was actually a meth addict. I know that you didn't do meth, Chris. I'm positive about that. That's not your thing.
I think Shannon is a shoo-in for just Parent of the Year. I don't know about you, but there's more disturbing bombshells the mother drops.
God, talk about a mess. The bedroom up in the boys' room, you get halfway up the steps and you could smell the urine coming out of there. For some reason, they thought it was okay to piss on the floor. Okay? They thought that was okay. And I don't like talking like this, by the way.
I'm no child psychologist or social worker or anything even remotely close to that, but that doesn't seem normal. There's definitely something going on there. Things got so bad the mom and dad had to call the cops to kick her out of the house. Yeah, imagine being that bad that your own parents have to get police to evict you.
It took us weeks to get that. Oh, it's been 3 months since she's been gone, maybe more. Well, let's see, it was Christmas Eve when the cops got her out. And the cops know us, by the way. The police in Duluth know my husband and I. They know her, too, all too well, because they constantly had calls for her in the past. You know, she lost her kids. If it wasn't for Chris, she wouldn't have those kids right now. And that's the truth. He is telling the truth on that.
Sometime after this, she ended up finding a new partner, who was also crazy, and is a guy named Jason. In 2019, things get even more freaking crazy because Shannon got with Jason, who goes by the name Revelation News, who is a Christian alcoholic who has a ton of money. Or I should say did. You see, the man inherited $700,000 before meeting Shannon, and they quickly wind up blowing through all of that money, but we'll get to that later. Shannon apparently forced him to stop drinking and made him cold turkey, which, depending on how bad his alcoholism is, that could have actually killed him. On top of this, Shannon started giving money away to G-Man, and also had him living at Rev's old house, so I guess he owned multiple properties at the time. And G-Man was living in it and renovating it, while they moved to another state where weed is legal, so they can smoke all the pot they want without having to worry about the cops showing up and arresting them. This arrangement doesn't last long because G-Man made fun of someone impersonating Jesus, and this led to Shanny evicting him on a fucking live stream. It gets about as unhinged as you'd expect.
Before we get sniped, because it's coming, I already know it. Okay, so what is your problem with me now, Shanny?
You are beyond lying about me, first of all. Beyond lying. Right. Beyond lying. Right. I need to reimburse you? Reimburse you of what, bitch?
Oh, brother. Number one, you're on a Christian channel. Can you please stop cussing on my channel?
Oh, no. You're in my house.
A channel of the Lord, and I would appreciate it.
You're in my house.
On my channel.
You're in my house. Using my electricity, and using my water, and using every third thing for you. To help you out. Because I thought you were a believer in Christ. I thought you wouldn't need someone.
Okay, Shannon Stout, if you're watching this, Shannon Stout, I want you to pay attention to this. So you believe cussing's okay then? Okay, cool. Okay, because you pay for everything that gives you permission to cuss and whatnot. Pay me $100. Shanny.
December 31st.
Shanny, let me finish, Shanny.
$100. December 21st. $51. December 20th.
Okay, guys, I had to mute her. I'm sorry, because I'm in the middle of talking. She gave me another $200 for food. I'm trying to go to the side of the story. She gave me $200. Oh my. Shanny, you are getting away with murder right now, Shanny, because you know what I would normally do. And
I know, but I can get away with it right now.
So the Bible is did I say, Shanny?
Why you treat people?
No, Shanny, you were treating me, right? Why you treating people? What did I just say, Shanny?
Sure.
I told you guys, it wasn't gonna take that long.
Oh yeah. Yes, I told you guys. I told you. I took someone's money and I used them. Yeah, that's what you do.
Nobody used you.
Can I be a moderator?
Already admitted
Can I act as a moderator?
Right. And I got news for you. I'm gonna make another video about Jesus H. Christ.
This has nothing to do with him. This is between me and you.
I'm going to respond to every blasphemous on that channel. Every last one of them. Don't stop.
I need another man to back you up to a woman, you cowardly bitch.
I'm gonna go after that Christian witch as well.
I need another man to back you up. Why?
I'm gonna go after that Christian.
Really part ways. It's not going anywhere good.
Shut up! I ain't talking to you. It's none of your business.
I was in the middle of telling you, but Rev, your hair isn't even long like a lady, so I don't think that verse even applies to you. I think your hair.
Oh, you better get him out of this room now. Get him out of this room now.
Shanny, no, I'm not.
Get him out of this room now.
Yeah, that happened. I don't know why the fuck you... I don't know why you didn't just hash this out in private, but... I mean, thanks for the entertainment, I guess. But a little while after this, Shannon decided to calm down by smoking so much weed on 420, she shit her pants. Bruh, how much weed was this bitch smoking? You tell me, you're the pothead here.
And I don't know, I got to the point where I ended up puking and shit myself today. So I did not have a good 420. I don't know if it was that copious amounts of weed, but I'm telling you, I'm never gonna smoke like that ever fucking again.
After this, Child Protective Services was called on her, and she started accusing random YouTubers that I guess she was beefing with of calling CPS. Jason, for whatever reason, didn't leave her, because man, there's some huge red flags here. And after a while, Shannon ended up streaming herself crying a bunch and having a fucking pity party and going on and on about how awful her mother is and how her mother ruined her life. And there's a point here where Rev decides to grow a pair.
Because I really, truly want reconciliation with my mom. And I have for the longest time, and she's done this over the last few months 2 times. I thought it would get us back together or something, Jason.
You're just gonna give her our fucking money. Are you fucking retarded? Is that what it is? Are you stupid?
In May of 2019, Shannon got arrested for beating Rev. She pleaded guilty and got a deferred sentence and was fined about $2,000 and got bonded out and placed on probation. She was charged for 3rd-degree assault. We have body cam footage of this.
Even have underwear on. This is ridiculous. I get put in jail and he hits me.
It gets worse. Also hear that Shannon may have cheated on Rev, and apparently in December of 2019, they got evicted by their landlord, and it was so bad, cops had to get involved and remove them by force. If you're keeping score at home, that is at least 2 times she has been kicked out of a home by police. Yeah, shit's wild. Well, hang in there, it gets better. I'm lying, it just keeps getting worse. If it wasn't clear already, Shannon is desperate for attention. Which, in of itself, isn't inherently a bad thing. I feel like if you're gonna do content creation on the internet, you have to like people giving you attention to some degree. But Shannon takes it to an extreme degree. She would do a lot to try and get people to pay attention to her. And when she finally did get some attention, it went to her head.
Oh my god! Okay, Twitter, this is the most coolest thing ever. Okay? No, I'm talking to people on Twitter on live stream.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're being noticed by people. From Shane Dawson's video, they're like, oh my god, you're like my favorite couple and shit. Is coming to the door.
Like, Mommy, where are you? Mommy, Daddy.
He's gonna come out crying because we're like 5 minutes. The thing is why we were late at the school is we got like caught up by being famous.
We were famous.
Imagine forgetting to pick up your son from school because you got caught up in whatever internet fame you think you have. What triggered this was they were featured in part of one of Shane Dawson's videos. Remember him? Yeah, Parent of the Year award. Both of them. But sometime later, Shannon got involved in a community surrounding content creators like Foodie Beauty. What did I say? Foodie? I said Foodie Booty. What the fuck? Foodie Beauty and that type of YouTube community. I don't even know if community is even accurate for that. You know what I'm talking about. The morbidly obese people that eat copious amounts of food while claiming they want to lose weight. Yeah, that side of YouTube. Specifically, she started going to people who reacted to and mocked people like Amberlynn Reed and Foodie Beauty. Well, I'm having a hard time saying that shit today. I don't fucking know, man. I need coffee. But she went after two specific people in this group called Life of a Free Spirit and another one called Charlie Gold. Both of them are black women, which I normally wouldn't bring that up, but Shannon, for whatever reason, starts accusing them of being racist against white women. Yeah, I don't know why she started doing this either. But she made a video saying that Life of a Free Spirit, I'm just gonna call it Life for short, is racist because her followers called Shannon a white N-word. I don't get how that makes Life racist because she's not the one calling you that. She might want to ease up on the pot, but one of these videos cracked me up because of what she says about the blacks.
That I can't have racism put on me because I'm f***ing white. What if I use the statement that because you're black, you can't have racism put on you? How would you feel, you dumbasses?
How many fucking Black Panthers do you have that want to kill all white people? How many fucking Black Hebrew Israelites say that this woman, if she was married to a Black Hebrew Israelite, they could beat the fuck out of her and rape her if they want to? She says no to sex that night. That I'm gonna blame my wife. And they say that they could beat their wives until they're almost dead. Where's your precepts?
Where are you talking against the Black Hebrew Israelites, Life of a Free Spirit?
Yeah.
Why aren't you talking about them and their racism?
They're the most racist fucking people on the planet. And they're black!
If I wanted to be just super, like, extremely generous to the point where it's kind of, like, ridiculous, you had maybe half a point here. Because black people can be racist as fuck too, and not just towards white people either. And people would try to say it's impossible for black people to be racist. Yes, these people exist. I have gotten into arguments with people about this. And they'll try to use this other bullshit definition that racism equals prejudice plus power, which doesn't make any fucking sense because I'm not even gonna get into that can of worms. It's dumb. That's the point I'm trying to make. But they want to use this definition so that way they can't be called racist even though they're saying like absolutely racist shit where if a white person had said it, you would call them racist without even thinking about it. But it's like they're trying to call that out, but they're not doing a good job of it, and they're really not the best people to be making this kind of argument. Especially Rev yelling like that at the end there. Like, Todd, I need an instant replay.
And they're black! And they're black!
That's just fucking priceless. That should be a soundbite. It should just be a soundbite. I might have to use that. I'm getting off track. Anyway, Shannon also likes to use the N-word a lot, with the hard R too, which really makes her claiming that other people are racist just kind of a moot point. And I just find this shit hilarious because it's just beyond stupid. I'm not even mad that she uses the N-word. I don't give a shit. I just find it funny. But Shannon would go on rant after rant, reacting to the content creators she responds to and the pushback she gets from them and their fans. And all I can say is, here's that attention you ordered, Shannon. I don't think it's the kind of attention you were hoping for, though. Speaking of attention, Rev and Shannon had the absolutely brilliant idea to start doing porn and open an OnlyFans account. Why you would pay money to see this, I have no fucking idea. Because of this OnlyFans account, people noticed that Rev apparently has a really small dick, and people started saying he had a baby carrot dick, which, damn. Damn, man, damn, y'all had to kill him like that. But Rev got so mad about this shit that he made a video about it claiming that he does not have a baby carrot dick. I would like to remind you all that this woman has 2 kids. All of this shit is happening while she has 2 kids. Speaking about those kids... all of this chaos came to a head in February of 2020, where, unfortunately and tragically, one of Shanny's children allegedly attempted suicide. Shanny uploaded a video where she admitted that CPS had been called a bunch of times, I can't imagine why, and that one of her sons threatened suicide and may have even self-harmed. I want to point out in this video that Shannon fucking streamed herself in the car while taking him to a crisis center for a psych eval. I am not fucking kidding.
To get my son a mental evaluation.
In a quarter mile, turn
because
right Federal Boulevard.
He wants to kill himself because of everything that's been going on and all the CPS you try to put in our life. And now he's going for mental evaluation. And I'm making this video to ask Drag, please stop, for my son's sake.
Yeah.
And if you think I'm lying, I'm not. He doesn't want, my son doesn't want to go on camera.
I'm sure that's what your suicidal son needs right now, is you screaming, telling people he's suicidal while he's on his way to a goddamn crisis center. I'm sure that's exactly what's needed right now. What the actual fuck is wrong with you? Jason even said in a stream, a different one I think, that the son threatened to or tried to stab himself, and neither one of them takes any accountability for this, and then just says, oh, it's the internet's fault, and that the internet ruined Shanny's son.
Do you see what the... Folks, do you see what the internet has turned into?
Turn left onto West 112th Avenue.
I don't care anymore.
They know.
I don't care. They've already ruined my son.
He can't be in our house when he's talking about stabbing himself, Shannon. He can't be in the house.
Turns out, false alarm. He wasn't looking at the... His pants fell down, and his brother saw his crack. And his brother's always trying to get him in trouble, so he narked at him and said that he mooned his brother.
Do this. I'm tired of being shown on the internet.
And I don't understand why the kids are crazy right now. Anyway, when the hormones kick in, like William, he's... I gotta stop talking about him. He doesn't like it.
Fucking ruined people for years.
What am I doing, William? Please let me know. I'm not doing anything. Go away. Go be hormonal somewhere else.
On camera.
I'm not doing anything, William. Just leave me alone.
How about you leave me alone?
I am leaving you alone, obviously.
You're the one who's talking about me on
Okay,
camera.
I'm gonna leave. Someone is going to get in trouble now.
That video I just played is really hard to watch, but it's totally the internet's fault, not your dumb ass being an absolute shit show online like this, and then, like, involving your kids, which is even worse. Unfortunately, this does not stop here. You see, eventually, Rev and Shannon went broke because they were just irresponsibly spending all that money, all $700,000 on dumb shit, and it's not like they spent it all like over the span of, maybe 10 years or something a little more reasonable, I guess. No, they did this in a span of 2 fucking years. This has resulted in them living in Rev's uncle's old house that he no longer lives in, and rather than being fucking adults and getting jobs, they just decided to beg on the internet for money. At one point, Rev got mad on stream because they only had money to afford a single sub, and Rev did not get a piece of it.
Out there.
Any noble things.
Yes, noble people to help the Jason.
JB the house elf. JB the house elf needs a little bit of food, just like something.
Just a little bit.
Everybody had 3 portions, I had 0. So if I could get 1 portion of one thing, that would be fucking amazing. Like, wow.
That would be amazing.
That would be really great, yeah.
He's a hungry boy.
Mm-hmm.
I should have shared more of my sandwich with you. I didn't know.
No, it's fine.
Oh.
It's fine.
Oh, Gavin, don't eat the bag. Don't eat the bag. Poor baby boy. Nickelodeon. Should we put Star Trek on? Because we already seen this stupid movie. You know?
I'll put whatever on.
Put whatever on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude. That's what I want to do, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude. That's what I want to do, man. You're my honey buzz, and I love you. Even if you're a grouchy boy sometimes.
Yeah, because I didn't get any
I love my grouchy boy.
Food when there's 6 portions.
My grouchy boy.
Yeah, grouchy, my asshole. Anybody would be.
Grouchy boy.
Anybody would be to not receive anything.
Grouchy boy is hangry.
Like somebody could fucking have saved me 1 piece or something.
Grouchy boy is hangry.
2 buckets of fries. 2 buckets.
Oh my god, baby, it's
yeah, oh my god. Like, that's not even reasonable to say, but it is. Like, it really is. Oh, whoa. Yeah.
I did.
You gave me 2 bites of a sub.
And then you said you didn't want any more.
I did not say I didn't want any more. I wasn't offered anything else.
Oh my god,
By
Jason.
anybody.
I'm done with you
I
and
wasn't
the
offered
stupid food
anything
thing.
by anybody, and it's disgusting.
How is it disgusting? Every single time someone tries to offer you food, you say no.
Nobody offered me anything.
Will you stop this? Will you stop this, please? Will you please stop this? My god.
What the hell am I supposed to put on anyway? I don't know what I'm putting on.
I don't know. Something interesting that will cheer you up so you're not an ass.
Yeah, like, stop saying stuff about me. It's very reasonable.
You're the one who's starting to be mean to me.
It's very reasonable what I said.
What am I? Why are you arguing with me about this?
Moving on now.
Are you sure?
Shut up and leave me the fuck alone. Shut up.
Are you sure? I hope you're okay now. Because I didn't do anything to you. My god.
Recently, Rev got arrested for beating one of Shanny's kids, and this kid in particular may or may not be autistic. The reason why he beat this kid was over a disagreement about a damn movie. Rev was in prison for a couple weeks. Shannon, being the absolute best mother ever, bestest mom ever, took him back a couple of days after he got out of prison. This resulted in the state taking the kids away. I sincerely hope these kids are in a better home because, fuck, these just sound like nightmare parents. Hell, I think even calling them nightmare parents is putting it lightly. After the kids were taken away, Shannon caught Rev looking at girls on an escort site, and she punished him by making him shave the top of his head, and then made him paint an A on his forehead scarlet letter style. I'm assuming that's where that came from, because that sounds like some scarlet letter type shit. I remember high school, but honestly, as fucked up as it is, the two of them honestly just deserve each other at this point. The two of them will hop on streams on Twitch and beg for cash instead of, getting a job. Shannon will force him to stream, and he looks completely miserable doing it, and I don't think he wants to be there. And I think he may have realized just how bad his life is right now, and he's regretting some life choices. But things have gotten so bad that Shannon has resorted to faking a cancer diagnosis to garner sympathy and cash from people. Yeah, this is the level we are at now.
Suffering from breast cancer, MS, fibromyalgia. Oh God, you have no idea how heartbreaking it is, but at the same time, it's best for them. It's best for them. They can't see their mom dying.
No. That's horrible.
And they're also gonna get me an aide. A nursing aide.
Yeah.
So I'm that bad, guys. I'm that bad. Tommy, I need to get my mammogram. I need to get an MRI.
1 minute she claims she is going to get a mammogram, and then the next minute she will say that, oh, I never said I was going to do this, even though we have it on tape of her saying this shit.
Yeah, she said she wants to go to my mammogram with me. So... I never said I was going to get my mammogram,
all the strings to make this crime
Nick.
happen. And over time,
And I don't want to talk about it right now. Oh my god, I didn't say I didn't have the test for cancer. I did, and it came up positive. I have to have other tests to see where it is so they can get a prognosis.
When did you hear this?
When I called the doctors last time about my blood tests, why do you think I freaked out the way I did?
Even back in 2019, she claimed she had cancer.
I guess you got your wish, Blue. Like, all those times you said, I hope you get cancer and die. Huh. I'm facing that reality. So I'm gonna do you a favor, Blue. I'm gonna let you watch me suffer and die, so you can feel better about such a wonderful human being you are for wishing that upon someone, just to see them go through it. I hope it gives you joy and satisfaction. I hope it gives you some twisted form of justice in your head.
So if we're gonna believe that she's telling the truth, she's had cancer this whole time and has never gotten a mammogram or undergone chemo or anything. Okay, yeah, that checks out. And to make things worse, Rev's mom had actually died of cancer. He was obviously around for that. So I'm sure seeing Shannon pretend to have cancer and tell people that she's dying when he knows she's probably full of shit, that's probably eating away at him. She has also claimed in the past, and she still claims this, that she has fibromyalgia and that she also has MS. Just a whole cocktail of illnesses. Of course, she claims to have all of this while having a donation link prevalent in all of her streams. Totally not a ploy to get people to feel sorry for her and give her money. Because no one wants to see someone suffering with cancer and not be able to afford treatment. I don't think most people are like that. Even as cynical as I am, I think people want to help someone who's dying of cancer, potentially. But when pressed to show some kind of fucking evidence that she's been diagnosed with cancer, she of course refuses, and that's because she knows damn well that she will get fucking eviscerated when she can no longer deny it, or she's backed into enough of a corner where she has to come clean and say, yeah, no, I've never had cancer. So she does the only thing she really can do besides being honest, and just keeps denying that she's ever said she was going to get a mammogram. This is pretty fucking scummy, even by Shannon's standards. Hell, scummy feels like it's putting it too lightly. I don't know what word we have for this. This is, wow, you are real. Wow, I know I've said that she a real piece of work, but wow, just, I'm in awe at the just level of just fuckery here. So to summarize where we are with Shannon right now, she is living in Rev's uncle's old house and has no real income besides whatever she gets from poor people that are duped into feeling sorry for her online. She has lost custody of her kids and abuses her significant other, who probably also abuses her back in some way, because in most abusive relationships it's reciprocated, unfortunately, and is now lying about having cancer and probably fibromyalgia and MS. I don't believe she has any of these, and I don't believe she's ever presented proof of having any of these things. And this is the state of her life now. I guess the only silver lining to the story is those two kids are away from these two, and I really hope that they're in a better home and they haven't been separated, because I know that can happen with like foster care and stuff like that. I know that I've heard horror stories of foster care, but in this case, I think this is probably the lesser of two evils. But this is gonna be where we're gonna stop for now. I'm sure some other crazy shit is gonna happen. With these people, I'm sure something's gonna happen. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of the video. Let me know what you guys think, and if you like this video, please, leave a comment, sub, and like the video, all that stuff. And if you want to reach out to me directly, aside from comments and stuff, I do have a Twitter and Minds account, and I'm considering opening a Discord, but I'm still messing with that and deciding whether I want to bother with that again. But let me know what you guys thought of this video, and I'm just gonna head out.